Carver.
It's your boy Link, Hody. He's dead.
Dead?
That's one of the new saddles I ordered from Chicago. Now, I gave express orders they were not to be touched. Now, what's going on here? Mother?
It was an accident. I saw someone running with a saddle. I didn't know it was Link. I thought it was a thief.
Well, looks like you weren't wrong.
I don't know if my boy was a thief, Miss Valerie. But even if he was, stealing ain't good enough cause for killing.
Where are you going?
To the marshal's office in Santa Fe.
No, you don't.
Deb, don't be a fool.
She is my mother. You don't think I'm going to let some stupid marshal come out here and take her?
Nobody's gonna take her anyplace. Not off of this ranch. These are the feed invoices for the last 30 days.
I'm sorry, Bert. My mind just isn't on business.
I know. You're thinking about the other night. The boy, I mean.
He was a good boy, Burke. I liked him. I still can't understand about the saddle. What was he doing with it?
And I still can't understand about you, Miss Connie. It just ain't like you to shoot and then ask questions afterwards. Now, was Dev, why...
You leave Dev out of this.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, they're coming, Mr. Carew. Hody Carver and the marshal.
You made good time. Where are they?
About an hour and a half away, 2 hours at the most. You want me and the boys to stop them?
No, let them come on in. We've got nothing to hide. You get on back to work.
Yes, sir.
September, where are you working?
Near the line camp on the ridge. That's how come I got to see Hody and the marshal. We were above them, and they were traveling up the draw.
Dev with you?
Yes, sir. He's with me.
I think I'll ride back up there with you. I need the exercise. You go over to the bunkhouse and get a cup of coffee. I'll be along directly. Now, as I said before, these are the...
Thank you, Burke. That's all I've got. Take care of him.
Burke, tell the lawman he's trespassing.
I don't think we can do that, Debs. He's a marshal. And the law usually has a right to go where it wants to. I'm Bert Carew.
Sam Buckhart.
I'm the managing foreman of the Rafter Wineglass Ranch. Miss Valerie sent me down here to show you the way up to the house.
Get off this ranch, old man.
Mr. Carver doesn't have a gun. I do.
I wouldn't do that, Marshal. Unless you want to get shot. Now, the boy didn't mean anything by that. Just upset about his mother.
Burke! The next time you talk for me, I'll kill you, I swear it. Now get off this ranch, Marshal.
September. Get another man and go over and help Hody load up his stuff. Nothing personal, Hody. It's just that Mrs. Valerie thought you'd be better off someplace else. I do, too. Sorry.
If I was you, Burke, I wouldn't feel sorry for me, no, sir. I'd feel sorry for Miss Valerie. That boy's pure hate, and it's eating him up. And the disease will spread and catch up to you, just like it did my boy. Marshal, I'm going. And the only thing left to remind you of your job is a boy in a cemetery. Might do for you to ride out there. Take a look.
We all have to move on sooner or later.
There's nothing wrong with moving on, Mr. Carew. If you have something to move on to.
Hello, the house. Where is everybody?
Right behind you, Mr. Carew. Everyone's inside. Forgive me, Marshal, but we've just had an exciting event. The birth of a purebred bull, and he's perfect.
Hallelujah. You know, we might revive the whole cattle market right here on this ranch. Thanks to Miss Connie.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. I hope I'll be here to earn them, Marshal.
So do I, Mrs. Valerie.
Perhaps I can save you some time. I'm really not a killer, in spite of what Mr. Carver may have told you. On the night when Link Carver was killed, I was in the house going over some reports. This is a large ranch, Marshal, and when I'm alone, as I was that night, I keep a gun handy. When I heard the noise and looked, I saw someone crossing the yard with a saddle. One of the new saddles my son had ordered from Chicago. It's a hobby with him.
Saddles or ordering saddles?
Oh, both, I'm afraid. The warehouses are full of supplies ordered by Dev. His father never denied him anything, and I'm afraid I have the same weakness. It was dark, and I couldn't recognize him. I called out, and when he didn't stop, I fired. I didn't know it was Link.
The boy was born and raised right here on this ranch. Why, she'd no more deliberately shoot him than she would her own son.
Tell me, exactly where were you when you fired the shot?
At the window in the library.
And the boy, where was he?
Near the well.
Must be a distance of 50 yards or more.
63 to be exact. Not an easy shot unless you're good, Marshal. I'm good. May I? My compliments, Marshal. It's nicely balanced. Thank you, Marshal.
You have a good eye, Mrs. Valerie. Good enough to recognize a certain type of saddle in the darkness, and yet not good enough to recognize a boy you'd known all of his life.
We heard a shot. I thought I told you to get off the ranch, Marshal.
The Marshal is here on business, Dev. A guest of the ranch.
Well, maybe when he finds out how we treat our guests, he'll change his mind. What do you say, Marshal?
Dev!
This little trick will cost you your life someday. Go ahead and shoot.
Don't! You'll kill me.
Burke!
No, leave him alone, Connie. He's just giving a lesson in manners. He's not going to hurt him.
If he does, I'll kill him, I swear it.
Relax. Drop the gun.
Please sit down, Marshal. Marshal, I have admitted accidentally shooting a man. On a ranch the size of Rafter Wineglass, it isn't always possible to get in touch with the law when necessary. So we've had to make up our own rules and regulations. We've always managed to handle these minor infractions in our own way, and I don't see why we shouldn't be able to continue to do so.
Mrs. Valerie, the law doesn't consider shooting a man deliberately or accidentally a minor infraction.
But the boy was stealing.
My job is only to bring Mrs. Valerie in for questioning.
And if I don't choose to go?
Then I'm afraid I'd have to insist.
That might be a little difficult, Marshal. For one man alone? I don't think you'd stand a chance of a snowball in summer taking Mrs. Valerie off of this ranch. And stay alive, I mean.
I take that to be a warning.
Take it any way you like, just as long as we understand each other.
Marshal, you've had a long ride, and I'm sure you'd like to freshen up before you leave. Or were you thinking of leaving right away?
No, morning will do.
How about my place? I got a big hunk of venison, a lot of room.
Then if you'll excuse me, gentlemen. Marshal.
Is that the dead boy's grave?
Yeah.
Hello.
Well, come on in. Join the rest of the skeletons in the closet. Oh, that marker's only temporary, Marshal. They'll be putting up a much fancier one in marble, maybe. They always do.
You shouldn't be here, Greta. You know that.
I'm a dance hall girl, Marshal. Greta Lane. They have an invisible line around here, and we're not supposed to cross it.
I don't make the rules.
What's the difference whether you make 'em up or carry 'em out?
Did you know the dead man?
Yeah. I knew him. He was gonna marry me.
I'm sorry, Miss Lane.
Oh, so is he. Got him killed. There's something I'd like you to do for me. It's something I've been trying to do myself. Link gave me this ring and chain before. Well, it was his mother's, I guess. I don't know. I thought maybe his old man might like to have it. You know, people are funny that way. Well, so long, Marshal.
Where can I find you?
Oh, in Valerieville. I work in the saloon there. The Valeries own that, too. I live above it, but you'd be making a big mistake to come there, Marshal. Anyways, what difference does it make? Nobody's gonna remember Link Carver. Except maybe me. And if anyone ever remembers me, it'll be as a passing fancy for Dev Valerie. Some passing fancy. Huh, Burke?
Before we go on to your place, do you mind if we take these to the boy's father? He might like to have them.
Why don't you go on back to Santa Fe, Marshal? Get out now.
I guess you know why, Mr. Carew. You're a man who also likes to do his job.
But I've got a lifetime invested here. What have you got? A tin star on your shirt. See this empty sleeve? Dev Valerie gave me that when he was 12 years old. We were out cutting timber, and he let a 3-foot log roll down and pin me. When I sent him for help, he got scared and didn't tell anybody. Left me pinned there. By the time they found me, got me to a doctor, some questioned whether I'd live or not. So you see,
I've got a part of my life already invested with the Valeries. And I wouldn't hesitate to give the rest of it if I was called on. All right. Now I'll take you by the Carver place.
I guess the boys must have gone. Odie! Odie!
He's dead. He was murdered with this.
Where are you going?
Valerieville. Dead Valerie isn't 12 anymore, Mr. Carew. Looking for Miss Greta Lane. I believe she works here.
She works here. What do you want with her?
It's none of your business, Valerie.
I want an answer to my question, Apache.
Yeah, looks like you got me in a pocket.
That's right, Marshal. We might even use you for practice later. Now, what about Greta?
Marshal. What are you doing here? Don't you have enough sense not to come around here?
I came to return your chain and ring. Odie Carver won't be needing them. He's dead.
Don't believe him. He's lying.
You don't have to take my word. He's still at his shack. He's been murdered.
You had to do it, didn't you? First Link, and then the old man.
Shut up.
No, I won't shut up. They told you, Marshal, that Link was stealing, didn't they?
I told you to shut up. I warned you, Greta.
That's more than you did for Link. Link won that saddle, Marshal, in a card game. Deb told him to go and get it, gave him the key, and then waited for him and shot him down.
Greta. Greta.
Oh. You got no sense of humor, Deb. You never did. You gotta have a sense of humor.
Greta. I didn't mean to shoot.
I'm arresting you for the murder of Greta Lane.
Sure, go ahead. What chance do you think you've got? It's 6-1. 7 with a bartender, Mac.
I don't think so. Killing a woman puts you in a class all by yourself.
She was a dance hall girl. Tell him, Rep. Go on, tell him what she was. Hutch, Pete. What's the matter with you? You all know what she was. Hey, look, I'm Deb Valerie, and nobody walks out on me.
Come on, let's go.
Hey, where you are?
Taking him in for murder.
You got no proof, Marshal.
Body inside is all the proof I need. He killed a girl, Greta Lane.
No. Dave, you...
Shoot him, somebody! He's not armed! Shoot him! What's the matter with you? Have you all gone crazy? Give me that. No, Dave, don't! Don't, I won't let...
Dave, it was an accident! Dave! Listen to me, it was an accident. You know I wouldn't hurt you, Dave.
Honey, he can't hear you.
I think your business is complete here, Marshal.
It's complete.
I want you to know that I love my son far more than I love myself. Maybe that's why I never knew how to let go. To let him be his own man. Perhaps it was I he really hated, not the others.
Mrs. Valerie, you gave him love. It's hard for any mother to put a limit on that. And just as hard for me to think of you in any other way than courageous.